Have you ever thought about a system that keeps us alive by bringing in oxygen and removing carbon dioxide? That's our respiratory system. Why do we need a respiratory system? Every single cell in your body needs oxygen to produce energy. At the same time, it creates waste gas called carbon dioxide. Your body must remove this waste, or it can become harmful. So the respiratory system of our body delivers oxygen to the blood and removes carbon dioxide. Both gases are transported through blood. So it is one of most vital systems in our body. Let me explain structure and function of lungs. The lungs are soft, spongy organs. The right lung has 3 lobes. The left lung has 2 lobes. The primary function of the cardiac notch is to provide space for the heart. Let's discuss pathway of breathing. Air enters through your nose or mouth. It travels down your pharynx, and then through the larynx, also called the voice box. From there, it moves into the trachea, or windpipe. The trachea splits into 2 bronchi, which enter the right and left lungs. These bronchi divide into smaller branches called bronchioles. And finally, they end in tiny air sacs called alveoli. Alveoli are where gas exchange happens. They are densely surrounded by capillaries, which are tiny blood vessels. What happens in the alveoli? Alveoli are tiny, only about 200 to 300 micrometers wide. But they are surrounded by tiny blood vessels, called capillaries. Oxygen from the air passes through the alveolar wall and into the blood. At the same time, carbon dioxide moves from the blood into the alveoli and to be exhaled. This entire process is fast and efficient. It's happening every time you breathe. Inside the lungs, air moves in and out due to the action of diaphragm. This is a dome-shaped muscle beneath the lungs. When you inhale, the diaphragm contracts and moves downward. This creates space in the chest, and air rushes in. When you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes and moves up. This pushes the air out. How does the respiratory system protect itself? The respiratory system protects itself in many smart ways. First, nasal hairs that trap large particles like dust and pollen. At the same time, mucus in the airways moistens the air and captures smaller particles and germs. Inside the trachea and bronchi, tiny hair-like structures called cilia constantly move mucus upward toward the throat. This helps carry out trapped dust, bacteria, and viruses, so they can be coughed out or swallowed safely. Let's quickly summarize. The respiratory system brings oxygen into the body and removes carbon dioxide. Air enters through the nose or mouth and passes through the pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. It finally reaches the alveoli, tiny air sacs in the lungs, where gas exchange occurs. Oxygen moves into the blood, and carbon dioxide moves out into the air to be exhaled. The diaphragm helps in breathing by moving down during inhalation and upward during exhalation. The system includes defenses like nasal hairs, mucus, cilia, to keep harmful substances out. So in conclusion, the respiratory system works constantly to supply oxygen, remove waste gases, and protect the lungs. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more educational content.